Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Kenshi again. So, remember last time we had managed to make it to the hub here, and we have been starting to, try to survive, essentially, right? Kind of scraping out a life for ourselves, starting some research here, as you can see, and all in all, doing what we can to survive, right? So, as we begin, we're of course waiting for Gills to decide to wake up, because if they do not, well, we can't use them for our things here. So, Cirrus is over here mining our copper, and Wall and Zan are both still a little bit hungry from their previous issues. And since Patch is very good at doing technology stuff, he's going to be our researcher. So Patch is going to basically remain at base, or essentially our base here, but we finally unlocked one of the main things that's going to help us right now, which is the copper storage box. Now this is great for a number of reasons here. First of all, it gives us a place to store our copper specifically, up to a stack of 1,000, I believe it is. And as we build it, if we can rotate the camera, we can now take our characters, and if they have any copper on them, deposit stuff into it. But the best thing about these is that if this box is in a certain radius around a copper mine that we're using, once we get 5 copper in the copper mine, rather than stopping mining and just standing around doing nothing, our guys will take the copper out of the mine and automatically run it back to the box, which means right now we have automated copper gathering, essentially, right? So we're gonna sell some more copper here, and I believe we're gonna maybe buy some food here, because we are still quite low on food. And that is one thing that's always going to be an issue for at least a little bit here, is our food is going to be low. So I'm trying to determine what food I want to get here, and we have to buy some cheap stuff for now. And so what we'll do next is, also with the storage things, we managed to get another thing called food storage right here. Now with food storage, we'll place it down up here and build it. And the neat thing about food storage is it works very similar to the copper storage. You can put edible food inside, and whenever someone gets hungry, for the most part, they will come and take food out, eat it, and go about their business. Now this doesn't always work. Sometimes some of the characters are a little bit dumb, and they'll starve themselves by working and not stopping, essentially. Kind of sucks, but that's just how it goes, right? So, I'm just kind of looking through, seeing if there's anything else that we can make for storage boxes, but fortunately we don't really have anything yet. It would be nice to have a storage box for the things like iron plates and building materials and stuff like that, but we're just not at that time yet, and we don't have very much space. So, fortunately, not a whole lot we can do. Now, on the map, there's a town right here, and it could potentially be a place that could sell us building supplies, but if nothing else, it's a place that we can use to train, get some more money, and to have a little bit of fun. So, you can see me fumbling around with the building menu, determining what the hell we're doing. But for now, I'm gonna go talk to the guy here. What am I getting this time, huh? I think I was looking for maps at this particular moment. And then I'm just looking around at the various traders we have here, or anyone else that's in this area, to see if there are anyone who would possibly sell building materials and stuff like that. Because right now, building materials are going to be one of the limiting factors for us. Because we need a lot of building materials to build walls, to build buildings, to build pretty much anything that we want to do. And so, I'm looking to see if these guys are anything, but they're just random outlaws like we are. They're Holy Nation outlaws, which means they either are former slaves or former citizens of the Holy Empire. But I did see right here a shady merchant, so I'm running on over to him to see if he's got anything that I can buy off of him. And unfortunately, he just has money. Shady merchants tend not to actually have anything that you can really buy. So anyway, I have Cirrus go down to the next closest city, which actually has shops, and it's not just a bar town. And so we'll do a quick jump to there. So now that we're here, I've been going around, and once we got close enough to the place, I was trying to level up my sneak by sneaking, because the more people around, the faster levels up. And so sometimes the guards will try to search you, and for some reason this gate, it does not like me. So they're just going to check me for contraband items, which is stuff like drugs and stuff like that. But unfortunately, he doesn't want to run through that gate, so we have to go all the way around to the other entrance, which honestly sucks. But that's fine. So I have him crouched here in stealth mode so he can earn some experience as we're doing stuff. And I'm just kind of checking to see my bounty or how I look like a slave, which I'll only look like a slave and be an ex-slave for another 10 hours, which is excellent. After that, I will be wanted by the Holy City for quite a while. Anyway, back over to Wall. He's still mining away. You can see him actually starting to starve here, but I don't really look at that or notice it. So, yeah, we just sort of ignore that. But now in town, I head over to this place first, because they sell backpacks. And I want to see if I can purchase one. Specifically the thief backpacks, the black ones here, which basically the best backpacks to have, essentially. They might not have a whole lot of space on them, but that doesn't really matter since I have a mod that stacks items that don't necessarily stack, like building materials and iron plates, for example, don't usually stack. Fun fact. But they do now, thanks to the mod. Just because it's easier and more convenient than having to do like dozens of trips. So right now I'm just looking for places that I might be able to buy from or do stuff on, you know, all that kind of stuff. And I figure I'll try to level up sneaking in this place because there's a lot of people around, so it'll level up quick. But I'm trying to follow a guy you saw there, but it looked like, for whatever reason, you can't follow while stealthed anymore, and I don't know if that was a game update or if it was a mod that does that. But anyway, we're doing it the old-fashioned way, where I'm going to click on the left side of the screen and the right side of the screen to get my guy to walk back and forth while stealthing in order to level up. So as you can see, we're slowly gaining experience here to level up our stealth. So we're going to just cut a little bit, since it's literally just me doing that for a couple minutes. But we're back in town. You can see Wall over here has dropped off some more copper, and in the time that we've been going to the city and walking around, we'll actually have a decent amount of copper here. He also picked up some dead, like, guard stuff that was on the ground. That's where all that stuff came from. It was just a random body in town that I looted from. But you can see we have 27 copper here. So I'm going to trade it to him. We're at 2K right now, and we jumped up to 7. So we got about 5K for that, 27 copper. And all for just a passive income with our guys just mining away, doing their thing, right? So it's been pretty great. And that's where I noticed that he is a little bit hungry. So I have him buy some food, I think. Or at least go get some food. But in the meantime, I have Cirrus go back and walk some more. Yeah, so I'm looking for food, and I decided to dump it all into these, honestly the best food, these ration packs. I think they're the best food anyway. They have a long use time and stuff like that, but they are a little expensive. So anyway, we'll go back in here and dump those since our food is now empty. But then Wall will go back to doing his job, which is mining copper for us. Hell yeah. And Cirrus will continue to walk back and forth, as he does. Alright, so it's been a little while here, and at this point, it's nighttime, and I'm looking to see if I can assassinate anyone, but I'm still at 0%, which sucks. Well, I say assassinate, but it's more like knocking them out. But anyway, I'm waiting until it's around 2400 again, like when we escaped from Rebirth, because I want to break into this business here. So I go ahead and get close, slow down time to a reasonable amount, and start picking the lock. Now, unfortunately, the first time I'm doing this, I don't do it very well, and the coast was not clear, and I get seen right away. So as you can see, I got caught committing a crime. They're going to attack me, and for whatever reason, I try to run outside of town, which attracts more guards, which was a stupid thing to do. And you'll see, as I try to run away, I go back into the city for some reason. But I had gotten knocked out there, and they picked me back up. And so they're going to take me to jail, where I'll be knocked out for quite some time, as you can see. So luckily, they treat their prisoners well. We're just a prisoner, not a slave, so they're going to take all my stolen gear and leave me basically with just a helmet and boots. And we will be in here for a little while we serve our time and regain consciousness. And then I see this guy who's like, they're putting in the cage, but he's like just crawling out right away. I do not know what's going on. It's some weird glitch. Kenshi can be a little bit funky at times like this, and I just find it a little bit endearing, you know. So I'm just looking at the other characters and all that, and I decided to go back, take a look at Wall. Just gonna make sure I know what everyone's doing here. Confirm they're all having a good old time, right? And that's what a lot of Kenshi is. You can control people all over the map. So you just like double click on them to like go to, you know, different locations to confirm that they're, you know, doing their job, they're all right, there's nothing wrong with them or anything, right? And here comes Patch. He's going to dump some more money in here, and we're already back up to 25. Now, do keep in mind I have been cutting stuff apart in terms of editing, so a lot more time has passed. But we can go ahead and sell this and get another, like, 5,000. And if any time you want to know how much time has passed between me editing videos, you can just look at the day and the time there in the bottom right above the thing that says operating machine copper resource there. And it'll be a good gauge of how much time has been passing. But for now, everyone's just going to be continuing to do their job, mining, and all that. And luckily, Cirrus is just about to wake back up here once his head gets to 0. And we are awake. Alright, so as we do, we start picking locks again. Hell yeah. So we're going to be picking locks and doing what we basically did in Rebirth, which is picking the locks, going out, going back in, picking more locks, etc., etc. Ad nauseum. Since we can't really escape this prison without being seen, since there are guards standing right there, and then also down below and all over the city. This place is a little bit harder to escape out of than Rebirth. So we're going to transition through here, and you'll see I'm continuing to be picking locks. Nothing else has been happening other than that, but oh, I got released from prison. And now that we're released, I'm just seeing that, oh, I have a bounty in the Holy Nation. So I just don't really care, because they don't care. These guys are enemies of the Holy Nation, so I'm just going to try to level up my stealth even more while we're waiting for night to fall. So I'm just kind of running around in a circle. You can see the stealth level going up there, slowly but surely, as we go into the night and run around in circles as the time ticks away. So this is a lot what Kenshi is running around in circles or waiting for time to pass because you're building something or yada yada yada, you know, as it goes. But finally it gets to be fairly late at night, so I'm gonna go ahead and look for that place we were trying to sneak into before, which is right here, and run my guy down to here. And it takes them a little bit of time to saunter on over here. All the while we're still leveling up stealth. So once we get here, I run around a little bit more to get that final level of stealth to 22. And it'll be 22 in just a second. There we go. Now, we will save, just to make sure we have some saves backed up here. So we're going to try to pick the lock again, and this time I waited until the guards walked past me, so that way we don't have that issue. Now the door's lock is picked, and we'll quietly try to sneak on in. Make sure the coast is clear, there's no guards around us, and it looks like we're in business as I try to close the door to make sure no guards walking by see me. So I'll come behind the counter and unlock these chests, as they should have better loot in them than just the random boxes around, or at least they should. But we spent a little bit of time unlocking them. I try to do the hardest lock first for some stupid reason, when in reality I should be doing the easiest ones first, getting any good loot I can, then doing the harder ones. So here you can see I switch over to the easier one, then do the next step up one, which luckily doesn't take too long. And then I search in and find that we get these garbage rugs, hemp, and luxury goods, which are like paintings and vases kind of things, which the luxury goods do not stack, which sucks. So yeah, so I'm like, okay, well, I'll just open up this safe then, since the rest of this stuff is garbage apparently. And then I'll check the shop counter. They just have a couple of cats in here and more luxury goods. Checking my thieving skill to make sure it's leveling up, and ooh, jackpot! Found a bunch of electrical components. So I try and take them. The guy above heard that I started to steal it, so I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna try to sneak out of here, try to reset it, but unfortunately it's not gonna go very well, is it? So I try once again, for some weird reason, to run out of town, and you'll see I draw attention to the guards again, and I'm like, okay, well, what if I just get far enough away I can, like, reset it? But then I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, wait, why am I even going to bother running away? Because if I do have to go back into the city, there's going to be a bounty on my head, and they're just going to see that I'm, you know, there. So I was like, you know what, just take me out, put me in jail, I'll just break out again, it's fine. And so that's what I did. And so once again, we'll be put back into jail, where I'm going to go back to lockpicking and all that good jazz as we wait to recover. So there's going to be another jump cut here, and we will pick back up where we left off. So we're back. It seems most of the guards had gone downstairs, so I snuck out of my cell, and I'm kind of looking around for stuff to steal. So I just took all the stuff on the shelf here, which wasn't really anything decent. So I'm trying to go over here and drop everything on the ground. And I'm looking at my armor and stuff to see what bonuses it gives. And the helmet is negative 10 perception, but that only matters for ranged weapons. But then the boots, I notice that they give me negative percentages to my stealth and athletic abilities, so I very quickly toss them aside. And now I decide, for whatever reason, this would be a brilliant time to start working on my assassination skills. So I go down here and try to start on this guy by giving him a nice tap on the shoulder, causing him to immediately push me down. Luckily, I did get up to assassination 4 from that, though, so that's nice. I better notice they have training dummies down here, and I'm like, ooh, training dummies, that's cool. So anyway, we're tied to this pole now, which is great, and then I noticed Zan getting attacked. And he was on block the whole time, so he's gotten fairly wounded, but I have him go off of blocking to see if we can take out this bandit here. And I was trying to look to see if Wall is nearby to help support Zan, since I know he's in the same copper mine as them. But unfortunately, there's not anyone nearby to help. So Zan, with his bad arm, is going to get knocked down since he can't fight back too well. And then Wall gets close. So I'm going to have him go off block and start to attack this hungry bandit. Meanwhile, Zan wakes back up and starts poking the hungry bandit in the knees with the baton he has while crawling down, trying to do some stuff. I'm trying to have him heal himself, but for whatever reason, he's trying to go help Wall rather than healing himself, which is what he needs to do. So Wall is in the meantime doing this, and you can see me messing around trying to be like, dude, do it. So I set him in passive so he doesn't try to fight, and then I have him heal himself. So that way he can stop bleeding out. Meanwhile, Wall is just in melee range getting his face kicked in because he has no melee weapon to fight with. And so I'm going to have Zan go over here now that he can stand up again. And he's walking very slowly with his injured leg, so I have Wall run past him here. Zan taps him in the head, knocks him down. Brilliant. And so what I do is I'm going to have them heal each other, essentially. Make sure we're not continuing to bleed, and we'll, of course, loot this bandit and take their execution thing, which is essentially me poking them and being like, hey, you're dead. Stop being alive. There we go. And I just check to see if they have anything of value, which of course they don't because they're a hungry bandit, and they wouldn't be a hungry bandit if they had stuff to sell. So anyway, both these guys are pretty banged up now. They're not having a good time, but they're going to go back to mining anyway. And you can see all the blood on the ground from where the fight has taken place. So at this point I decide to take everyone off block, because the only thing around here are hungry bandits, and once they're dealt with, it's going to be easy. Meanwhile, over on Sirius's side, the guard is... They really don't want me to escape again, so they're just watching me with a keen eye. So I'm literally not able to do anything. So we just wait for a while and then skip ahead a bit. So after some more time has passed of me trading copper, waiting for Sirius to get out of jail, and all that good jazz, we look through our stuff here to see if there's anything that we want to grab in terms of research quick, but I'm just kind of seeing what we need in order to level up, and we want that tier 2 tech bench, but in order to get that we need a small house first. And we're also going to need power at some point, so I'm just sort of looking through the list, and we'll eventually choose to do small housing and the tier 2 workbench. But first, Sirius has been left unattended, which means we can escape. We're going to go immediately into sneak mode. Luckily, it looks like all the guards are gone at the moment. Don't know where they're at. So we're going to go ahead and limp downstairs, where we will discover that the stuff that we had originally when we were getting arrested has been put away into these boxes and crates. So, what does a person who's in prison and just escaped do? Why, take the loot back, of course! So this will luckily raise our thievery while we are stealing stuff here. And even though it said I was caught stealing, no one comes to arrest me. So I don't know what exactly is happening with them. I don't know if the guys downstairs are just on a smoke break or what they're doing, but if they're not interested, I am fine with that. So I take a little bit of a break from grinding my thievery to grinding my attack, because my melee attack will go up from using this, so I figure I might as well use it while I'm here to pass some time while I wait for my bounty to go away. So we'll just do this for a little while. But I very quickly get bored of it, I'm not gonna lie. You can only watch someone smack something for a while, and my escaped prisoner status is not going anywhere for a very long time. But as you can see, it starts going up steadily. And I think I get it to maybe the 10 before I give up. But yeah. So we're looking at thievery. It's still a little bit up there. We're gonna keep going. Right now it's at like 20 something. I know you can't really tell because the thing's in the way. There we go. Thievery's 5. Never mind, it's not 20. But you get the point. We were stealing a bunch of stuff there, so I just cut up because we were literally just stealing back and forth. But after some copper had been exchanged, I went back up here to get more building materials and such. And actually, no, I was not here for building materials this time. I needed books, research books. And that's what we came here for. So there's these books. They're the kind of tannish orange yellow ones here. And the blue ones as well, and also those red ones kind of in the middle. Those are all things you need for research in order to get like stuff to build. But the other ones that aren't the yellow ones, they are for harder research and stuff that I don't necessarily have access to yet. So I don't worry about them, but I just buy a bunch of books first of all, so we can start researching more and getting ourselves together. And so we will have Patch run away. Something must happen to the pathing. Some mod must mess something up, because I have no idea why I cannot just click on the hub and go there. But anyway, Patch goes and runs along the way. So you know how the running goes. Meanwhile, back over here with Wall and Zan, we are attacked by these, what are they even called? Guras? But the thing is, I feel like usually they're not hostile. I don't know what happened to cause them to be hostile, but a little pack of them came over here. And, well, Zan and Wall are just getting absolutely bodied. And I'm hoping I can get Patch to come over here to help them out, but the animals decided to walk away. And Zan wakes up, so I'm going to have Zan heal himself. And then also heal Wall while we're at it. But the fact that Wall and Zan have gone down twice now has really cemented the fact home that we really need to do something in terms of research. So I got Patch here, maybe thinking I was going to have to carry one of them back up to the base for safekeeping for now, but they seem to be fine now. And so I let them continue onward while Patch returns back to base with the research we have. Meanwhile, Cirrus is still in jail, just chilling there. So we're going to drop off the research books and then immediately go into starting our research by starting the small house, and then we'll get the Tech 2, and I'm going to have him start researching that. I'm also going to queue up a bunch of other stuff like fabric manufacturing and some other equipment here. Like walls as well, because those are required to get higher tier walls. Then of course we need wind generation. And I get cooking as well. And for right now, that's kind of everything I get, I think. Maybe something else I select too, but for right now I just focus on those and have him go back to work with research. And it's at this point, I think I want Gills to do something else. I'm going to have Gills go support Cirrus. So I set him to go down there. And we're going to turn him off sneak so he's not so slow. And I also noticed that, oh, his speed's a little bit down, so I'm going to go ahead and throw these boots away, because otherwise they will hinder my speed by about 2 miles per hour, I think. So Gills is going to go rendezvous with our friend Cirrus. So we're at the backpack store now, and we're going to buy one of these thief backpacks and sell these boots since we don't need them anymore. I'm also seeing if there's anything else we want to sell, but there's not really. And I'm checking for anything else we want to buy, but again, it doesn't really have anything we want to particularly buy at the moment. So this Shek guy, he's kind of talking shit to me, saying that you can't handle this city. Run along, shrimp, come back when you've found a backbone. But we're just going to ignore him because he's just all talk, and he'll lose interest after a while once he realizes he can't bully us out of the city. So I just check on the progress that Patch is making, and I'm looking around at the housing to see what I want to do here, because we do need a bigger place to start building. And so I buy this bug house right here, this big old home right there, and I start having Patch repair it. Because in order to get more stuff and do more things, we need more room, essentially. And we can't build in town randomly, we have to build inside buildings we own, because technically this is not our town. So we need a lot of building materials that we do not have at the moment. But Gills is going to come on over to Cirrus, and for whatever reason the first floor doesn't want to load, so I have to finagle between floors. And I see there's a couple of dead guys in here, which, you know, works for me. But I want to talk to the guard first here to see if I can maybe bail out Cirrus rather than waiting for the time to expire. But it is going to cost 6,000, which we do not have right now. So unfortunately we cannot help Cirrus out of prison quite yet. But what we can do is loot these bodies, take their stuff, same with the one up here. We just have to get up like this. And so I want to try to give Cirrus some clothing, or at least some armor and stuff. So I'm trying to trade it, but unfortunately we're not in trading range, because you have to be within a certain range to trade. Even though we're like a couple floors apart, you can kind of trade through walls and stuff as long as your characters are relatively close by, right? But setting that aside, I just check on Patch real quick, and then come back. So I'm having Gills go up, because I'm not sure if I could go up without the guards getting angry at me, but it seems like I'm fine at the moment, so I am trying again, and still outside of trading range, so I'm just like, screw it at this point, and I go up to the actual cage floor, and then I just right-click trade on him. Now I give him the armor and pants that we had. I don't give him any boots because the boots were, well, crap. And if I give him a weapon, they're just going to take his weapon away. So there's no point in really doing that. So with Cirrus given a little bit of gear, I go over to the clothing shop here. And I talk to the vendor to sell him my ill-gotten gains. And I can't remember which ranged ammo is used here, but then I remember it and sell it. So now at the moment I'm looking for anything that would improve my stealth ability in terms of clothing, because some clothing does increase your stealthy ability. I don't know why I'm spending so much time looking at the helmets, because I don't think any helmet helps with stealth. There's maybe one, but I don't think any actually do. It's mainly pants and shoes that help with stealth. Because anything that kind of helps you, like, blend in with the darkness sort of helps you, right? So that's sort of what I'm looking for here, but I quickly decide to say screw it, and I'm just going to have Gills mess around a little bit here. Because I think Cirrus is almost out of prison this time. But I'm just kind of comparing the skills, looking at it, and yeah, Cirrus only has... was that 15 hours left? But we're going to set Gills on passive for a specific reason we'll get into a little bit later. But for now, we'll go back to Patch to see what he's doing. And we're going to grab the construction materials we have to begin trying to repair the bug house. Unfortunately, it takes 35 total building materials to repair it fully, and we only have 17. I'm also setting the house to be private so that we don't have NPCs walking in and out of it, just because they're a little bit annoying. And sometimes the NPCs, when you're controlling them, telling them to build stuff, they get weird and don't. Because construction is kind of like this multi-tiered system where you do certain things a couple of times and all that good jazz. And so I'm also going to have Patch sell our copper to get us a little more money, buy some more building materials that we can use to build, but still, unfortunately, we don't have like very many at all left. We're going to have to do another run to the way station pretty soon in order to get more. Which really kind of sucks for us. Because going over that way is such a pain in the butt. Meanwhile, Gills is here. I'm going to have him hold as well. And Cirrus is still in jail, as we all know. Meanwhile, Wall and Zan are just doing all the heavy lifting, like running around and mining our copper, getting us money. They're just literally building the foundation of our civilization on their backs. And they're actually making a lot of skill gain, because they're not only gaining athletics by running back and forth through the area to drop off the copper, they're getting their laboring skill up by mining the copper, they're getting strength up by carrying the copper, and that's just great. But Cirrus has been released from prison. I do believe, or did I escape? I blanked out. Sorry. But yeah, we just snuck out. So there's not really anything we can do right now because that guy is unfortunately all the way back there. But we can have Gills pick up Cirrus. This is one of the cool things about Kenshi. And because I'm carrying him, even though he's an escaped criminal, I could turn him into the prisoners or to the jailer to get money, but I can also just carry him and no one will care. So what we're going to do is use gills to put down Cirrus where we want him to go. And then Cirrus is going to be a lovely little man who's going to steal for us. And so we'll once again try our hand at going into here. So one thing I don't notice is on the left you can see a guy there. I don't notice him. And that's going to give us some issues right here. So I try to steal, but he sees me. And so I'm like, screw it, I'm just taking all this copper then. I do not give a shit. And so what we'll do is we'll be trying to take the copper for quite some time here. Just over and over and over. I'm just going at it, right? I'm looking to see if my thievery goes up, but I'm not really too sure what the requirements to level up thievery are. But I'm just taking some stuff, and I think since I'm already seen stealing, they don't care. But the cool thing about this now is I can just trade the copper through the wall from Cirrus to Gills, and no one will care about Gills here. So I'm trying to have Cirrus sneak out, but it's too late. The guy is already onto me. So I have Cirrus run outside, and I try to have Gills pick him up, so that way they will leave me alone. But they don't like that, and so for whatever reason he still just takes Cirrus off Gills' shoulder, and no one cares about Gills, but they just take Cirrus to jail. I guess it's because Cirrus is impassive and doesn't fight back, and so they don't think it's a threat. But they are so wrong. Because now our thievery kicks in to high gear. We're gonna have Cirrus unlock his cage, and then Gills is gonna come back up here, and he is just gonna pick up Cirrus once again. And because no one cares when you're carrying a prisoner, as long as you're not like in an alarm state, we can just carry him right past all the guards, right back to the building we're trying to steal from. And unfortunately it is almost morning, so we're gonna put him down. Seriously, gonna go back in here, and we don't have a whole lot of time, so Cirrus is going to come back over to here. I'm trying to turn off the light, but apparently you can't turn off this light. So I'm like, whatever, I'm just going to have him take the rest of this copper. We're going to keep raising the alarm. I managed to get all the copper out. So I open up the trade menu, give it over to Gills so it can't be confiscated. And I just start searching for any other thing we can find. But unfortunately, the guy comes here, but I'm like, I'm just going to see what else they have. I'm looking for building materials, specifically. Because if I can find more building materials, I could use them to do some stuff. But I did find fabric, which is another thing we're going to need in the future, specifically to make beds. Because when we have beds, we can actually rest in them and heal our injuries if we are injured and all that, right? So I'm trying to get some fabric for that. But it's being very difficult when there's a guard watching over your every move and being like, hey, no, you can't do that. Stop it. Stop trying to steal in front of me. We're still getting some, because I think we got like a 40 or a 60% chance, depending upon it. But we're going to go ahead and slide stuff back over to Gills. And Cirrus is going to continue looking around for anything we can steal, like these iron plates, for example. I'm only going to get like 20 or so before I give up trying. And then I keep looking around and around. was hoping that that building materials chest that we just looked in had building materials in it, but fortunately it does not. So we're just going to have to keep looting. And that's kind of how this thievery game goes here. If you wouldn't be able to pause, this would be a lot worse than it is, because you would have to be like 100% stealthy. You wouldn't be able to get seen and do all this nonsense, but luckily for me, I don't give a shit. So we're gonna keep stealing stuff. And so it's gonna go like this for a little bit longer, a couple more minutes here. I'm gonna be trying to steal stuff, put stuff in my inventory, throw it over to Gills so that Gills can make a getaway with the stolen goods and kind of go from there. So let's cut ahead real quick, shall we? So this is after Cirrus has been taken away to jail after being caught. And so Gills can now come over to the bar all nonchalantly, and we're looking for the shady trader who will let us sell stuff to him, which is right here. So I'm going to talk to him first and foremost. We're going to get rid of all the copper, because we don't need that right now. Or at least as much as we can sell. I contemplate buying this katana for a little bit here, but I don't think it's really worth it to get a katana right now, just so I could sell more stuff to him, essentially. So then I look around the other people, and kind of thinking about what to do here. And I noticed a couple of names that are sticking out to me. Like this Ruka, and there was a Kang guy back there. And so I talked to them. This guy named Dirt, he says I could probably recruit him, but he doesn't like me because I'm human. So ignoring him, we talk to Kang, who calls us fragile, asks us if we're looking for protection. We go through a dialogue with him, essentially him saying that we can pay him 6,000 cats to hire his him to defend us, fight for us, all that good jazz. And I basically say, yeah, let's go, let's do it. And so we get a new follower named Kang. But we're not done yet. I see over in the corner, oh, is that Oran? It is. Let's talk to Oran. Oran asks if we can buy ourselves the loyalty of a Shek warrior, and so they only want 3,500 cats to join us permanently. So I accept. This is them. We're just going to go ahead and confirm because I don't really care about customization. And bam, we have 2 new followers. We ain't done yet. Here's probably one of the easiest people to get, Ruka. They had their horns cut off because they were enslaved at some point, and they ask us some questions about honor and what we would do in a fight, or if we were in a battle that we were outnumbered and going to lose. Basically, we give them Shek answers, which is like, yeah, we're just gonna fight to the death and everything like that, act macho, and be like, you didn't deserve getting your horns cut off. It would be an honor to have you join us. And they join us for free. So we got not 1, not 2, but 3 new teammates here. Ruka, Oran, and Kang. Ruka and Oran are usually staples of my groups in Kenshi because they're cheap and free to get. That's why it's nice to, come over here to bars where you'll find these NPCs hanging out. And I see a thief fence that I sell the rest of the copper to. And also, I think I sell the bandages to him as well, just to get some extra money, and the leather. Honestly, at this point, we just need money, so I don't really care about losing too much. We're also going to get rid of those circuit boards. The rest of the stuff we're going to keep, because that can be used for building in the immediate future. And in hindsight, I probably should have kept those circuit board things, or electronics, whatever the heck they're called, because I could use those here, but for right now, it doesn't really matter. The last thing I try to do here is talk to Kang, or use Kang, I should say, to talk to Dirt, to see if I can do anything to get him to join me. But, oh right, I try to trade some more stuff, but I have like a certain percentage chance to sell stolen goods to normal shopkeepers. But at this point, I just want a little bit of food. So I get 61 food, all the money that we had down the drain because of that. But it will tide us over for a little while. Now, in the meantime, I'm going to trade my supplies that I had liberated from the general good merchants to the 3 Shek that we got here on our team. That way they can kind of share the burden, and I'm going to send them back to the hub where they'll link up with everyone else and kind of be good to go there, right? So I'm going to tell them to go over here, or at least outside the city limits for now. But Gills is going to be remaining behind in town to help out Cirrus with our heist business. So Gills is just going to chill here in the corner of the building, you know, just relaxing. And I noticed that the 3 of them are going toward the wrong exit because that one doesn't usually let you go over it. So they're, as you can see, they sort of like stopped moving. But Patch is back over here mining again. I'm just kind of checking what they're doing and all that. But since we didn't manage to steal any building supplies, and we have some more stuff coming now, I need places to put it, and beds to do, so beds to use and all that. So we go ahead and sell some more copper, and I look to see if he had any building materials, which he doesn't, so I use my remaining building materials on the bug house here. And then we're going to have Patch go on another building material run after he takes this useless trash that's in our apartment here and sells it back to the barkeep, because we want to keep our place nice and clean, right? Alrighty. Now that Patch has lightened his load, we're going to have him run back over to the way station if we can get him to track. Meanwhile, Kang and the crew haven't even left the city yet, so I'm going to decide to buy them a backpack. Now, I would love a thief backpack because it reduces the weight by 60%, whereas other backpacks just do like 50%. But the thief backpacks are unfortunately too expensive. So are the large backpacks. I contemplate for a moment getting sleeping bags, but I'm like, we're about to make beds, never mind. So at the end of the day, I decide to buy a medium backpack for Kang, and Kang only. And then I take all of the supplies from everyone, and I pool them into Kang's backpack. That way, he's the one carrying the weight, while the other 2 are free to defend him, essentially. Now, in hindsight, I might have wanted to use Oran for carrying stuff, because I don't think she's as good as a fighter. But I tried to talk to the general goods merchant, and he says he wants to trade with thieves, which I don't remember it doing this, because like I should be able to talk to him with NPCs that have not stolen from him, at least from what I remember. But maybe a mod or something makes that so I cannot do it. I don't know. It's been a minute. Anyway, I'll look for some other places around here that I can get building supplies at, but unfortunately, this is the only shop other than the bag thing and then the armor and the weapon merchants. So there's unfortunately nothing else that we can do here at this time to get building supplies in this town. And so I talked to this guy one more time to see if he has any building supplies, but unfortunately they're all pet backpacks. Talked to the shady merchant, he has nothing. And it's just unfortunate. So with that, we go ahead and take Ruka and them outside, and they're going to start the journey back to the hub now. Meanwhile, we have Gills coming back up here with Cirrus. And we're gonna get ready for another heist. So, this guard is gonna be a little bit oblivious here as we pick up Cirrus and head back down to the shop. And we'll just hide out on the corner like we always do until the time comes for us to thieve. I always love just running past everyone, carrying a wanted person, and no one cares. It's great. Then I notice there's a camp up ahead of Ruka and the rest. I see them over here on the side of the cliff face. Dust bandits. I get ready to fight, but it seems they're not interested. The dust bandits just do not care and let my little party go through. So I don't care. And I jump over to Patch, who's at the way station now. And we go ahead and come over to here to buy some more building supplies. So we just buy all we can, because we need them. And then we start heading back to town. That's really all there is for that. You know. So, Patch is going to head back there. Cirrus and them are ready to start stealing. Kang and them just got back. They're all ready to go. So, we are all united. Already, for the most part. Well, we're not all united, but the workforce, the unskilled laborers, are all united. So I'm just removing the execution item from these guys' things, because once you have them as allies, they can no longer be executed by removing that, which is great. And we're going to have Kang, who has a backpack, go back to... What is it? What is that town called? Completely forgot. But the place where Cirrus and Gills are. Because he's going to be the one running supplies back and forth from this town to the hub. And I'm trying to have Oron take items from here to sell the copper again. And as you can see, our copper production has kind of stalled out since we only have Wall and Zan farming copper, unfortunately. But that'll change real quick because we're going to have Ruka and Oron start farming this copper resource. So those four, Wall, Zan, Oron, Ruka, they'll be doing our laboring for the time being. Which we need them to level up laboring anyway, so that we can do stuff when we're on our own, have our own town and all that. But yeah. Meanwhile, we're going to have Patch finish the bug house. And I think Can is still running back to that one town. Unfortunately, it takes so long to build these huge buildings if your builders aren't skilled at building. But you can see, as the red grid starts to go down the walls of the building, that's kind of like us taking away the scaffolding. So we're just finishing up the build, and in just a couple of seconds here, it'll be done and we can start building inside, and our new house will be complete. There we go, it is done. So, now we begin interior decoration. Yeah! The first thing we need, though, is a tier 2 workbench, which I contemplate putting in the back wall, but if I put it up here a little bit further against this wall, like this, I can save a little bit of space to put stuff behind it, because it's like a square hitbox. And unfortunately this needs iron plates, which he didn't have access to immediately, but now he does. So he'll start building this for us. Then we'll swap back over to Cirrus and Gills, since it's kind of night. It's about to be morning, to be honest, but that's fine. So Cirrus is going to go ahead and start taking a look here at what else we can steal. Luckily, no one's on the first floor, so we're going to go ahead and start just looting pretty much everything we can. And once again, we're just faced with these garbage luxury goods, which are only good for selling. But, that's fine. I tell Kang to go outside as well, on passive and hold, because if you don't have your guys on passive and they're nearby a teammate who's under attack, they will join in on the attack. But I go ahead and take everything. I'm no longer playing around, I'm taking everything. And so I'll go ahead and start passing it over to our getaway driver, essentially. And I'll be taking all these luxury goods for myself, along with that one there, which is just out of my range. So we'll have to come over and grab it that way. Then we have all these saws here, which we will take and then pass over to Gills once again. And this is kind of how thievery works in Kenshi, at least for me. I level up one character's thievery by taking stuff and then pass it outside to a mule, essentially. And so I'll be taking everything. And you can really tell when thievery gets leveled up because you no longer get caught very easily. And so I'm looking for everything. Any item that I can grab that'll be worth something or be useful in the future, I grab it. I grab all the bandages that are there. But because I'm closer to the guard upstairs, he sees me, catches me, and that's not great. I try to grab the stack of cotton, but it's telling me no more room, which is obviously wrong. But for now, I'm just going to give what I have over to my friend here. Then we're going to go back and keep stealing more stuff. And I do see that at this point Cirrus is kind of starving. So we'll have to get him some food here in a bit. But for now, we're just going to take the rest of this cotton and everything else that's not really bolted down. Because there's no one that can stop us. Except for that guy, who will definitely stop us if given the chance. I'm trying to get the last of this fabric out of here, but the guard is making it very, very difficult. And then I try to take the luxury materials and the leather from here too, but it's just not working out. It turns out to be a lot more trouble than it's worth. So I run over here with Cirrus. And of course I'm way too slow to do anything because we're carrying a bunch of weight on us at the moment. And of course he is not able to carry anything else. So Kang is going to have to be our second patsy there. And now that Cirrus is completely unloaded, I try to look around more to see if there's anything else I want to steal. But the guards are onto him at this point. There's really nothing we can do. I'll just get Kang out of the way, have them start going to the bar, and, well, Cirrus is doing his best to stay alive there, but eventually gets captured and taken away. Cirrus is the real MVP here. He is, doing what he can to get us on the right track here. So we go ahead and talk to the thief fence, sell him all the luxury goods. I don't sell him the cotton because we can use that to make fabric and other stuff, but we will sell him all of these luxury goods that are just completely wastes of space, taking up 60, or they are only 61 cats each as well. But we'll also sell him these saws and make a pretty penny off those. So then we're going to trade with Kang, give him the wheat straw, the bandages, and everything else that we want him to carry back over to our lovely city once again. And Kang is going to start his journey back out to the hub once again. So, we're going to have Gills once again go help Cirrus. Squin, that's the name of the city. Anyway, Patch is done constructing this structure. So I put the tech books from the previous workbench into this one. And I look at the other stuff we can start crafting here. If I want to build anything else or not. And I decide we're going to build a cooking stove right here in this corner so we can cook stuff like the raw meat we've been holding on to for a while now. And, for example, not that. Fortunately, we can't put a huge wind generator on top of there. But I'll look in the storage stuff and decide that, hey, we have a building material storage, we have a iron plate storage. I'll go ahead and start putting these boxes in here, because once you have a storage box for them, you can put the stuff in here, and rather than them saying, oh, I don't have the materials, or not having enough materials on them, they'll just use the building materials that are inside these resource chests to actually build with. So if I have someone assigned to be an engineer, which is the person that builds things, they will take from these storage containers in order to build other stuff, essentially. So I'm having him build these quick so I can dump the stuff that he's carrying. And while he's building those, I start queuing up some stuff, specifically beds. Tech level 3 is going to be nice to have. I go for first aid kits, fabric, sleeping bags. I get our light wind generator. I don't remember what else I get here. I think I get some other, like, clothing, I think, and electrical stuff, but... and a bunch of training stuff, so... the training things will come in handy later, as we need to strengthen our characters. But for now, we're just kind of focusing on making money and not being able to defend ourselves, because we don't have to defend ourselves right now. Yeah, unfortunately, the cooking stove requires iron plates, which we don't have on us at the moment, I do believe. But we're going to take down the old research station to create room, and then it'll have building materials drop that we can pick up. So you don't get the exact amount of resources that you paid for it back, but you do get some, which is not bad. But once Patch is done with this, he's going to start not constructing, but researching various other things. So get to work, Patch. Start researching for us. I'm going to queue up dried meat here. So whenever we do get meat, we can start replenishing it and stuff. But Gills is going to go ahead and break out our friend here. And by break out, I mean our friend, Sirius, is going to pick the lock, and then Gills is going to grab him, as usual. So this is kind of going to be the gameplay loop here for a little bit. But I'm kind of hesitating pulling out Sirius right now because that guard looking directly at him. And I'm wondering if Gills pulls him out, if we're going to have an issue. I'm telling Kang to get back up there as well, back to the hub. So I'm just kind of waiting, thinking about what I'm going to do here. But I say, screw it, pick him up. And no one cares. They don't even care that I literally took him out of a jail cell, which is great. So we're going to have him go right back over here once again and hopefully see what's going on there. So the bottom layer of the shop has been mostly looted. There's a couple things that haven't been, but there's a couple more chests on the top floor that we'd like to get into that could potentially have building materials there. And if we can get like a bunch of building materials from there, we'll be set for a little while. At least until we can start forming our own base. But that is something for another time. For now, we're going to still have our guys taking copper, selling copper, doing what they do best, and going from there. So feel free to watch the rest of the video play out, but that's about all. We're just gonna go back to buying a couple of things here and there, and selling stuff, trading stuff, and mining copper. So next time, we're gonna continue with a little bit of thievery, expand the base out a little bit more, and hopefully get to some more interesting stuff as it happens. So look out for that. But until next time, everyone, I will catch you all later. Bye-bye for now.